broadcast. I mentioned Inbox opened about a half hour from now. Blair Anderson will be our in-studio guest after the Top 5 at 5.
Room for you in the inbox right now.
JG at KFAN.com. How about the scene in Casablanca, Morocco, where they're starting to feel it? They were already supposed to be out of this thing. They're playing France. 0-0 as we approach the start of the second half. Where did I want to go next? You have some sound I want to play in a little bit of the Vikings head coach, Kevin O'Connell, with Dan Patrick. Before we get to that, or at least a section of it, because it's pretty good. It's pretty funny on a number of fronts. Did you see the development in the Kawhi Leonard story?
I did. Yeah, not so fast, my friends.
A mention. Yeah, so the trade apparently is now being held up because so far the Toronto Raptors, and maybe they didn't know this was going to be part of the deal. The Raptors, according to I think this is a Shams bomb, if I'm not mistaken, eventually the Clippers released a statement, but I think his report was that, there's this ongoing investigation with Aspiration. Those are the tree people, aren't they?
Correct.
And supposedly the Raptors are refusing to absorb the so-called investigation risk. In other words, the notion seems to be that the ownership group of Toronto, that the deal can't be finalized from the Clippers side unless Toronto's ownership group assumes the risk of any potential penalties connected to Leonard's contract that could emerge from it. And now that raises an interesting issue because you could say, well, Toronto didn't do anything. It's the Clippers who did something, and the idea that somehow the Clippers can avoid punishment by just trading away the player? That seems counterintuitive to me, doesn't it? So I don't know if Toronto agrees with what the Clippers statement is in terms of whether they agree with the accuracy of that notion, because it's difficult for me to get my arms around this. I'm trying to think about it, but there's a part of me when the deal came down that wondered whether the punishment might include some kind of punishment against Leonard himself.
That's what I thought.
And that might get in the way. But this sounds like, or maybe it's all related. Maybe that's what they're saying. They're saying, well, part of a punishment is we need Kawhi to sit for a year. All the more reason why the Clippers had all the incentive in the world to trade him away.
Right.
Right? Because realistically, that relationship was severed and was over, so let's just get it out of our hands. But I would still maintain that if there's a punishment coming from Kawhi, that's on Kawhi, and that does affect Toronto. But the Clippers should not be able to avoid their own punishment, right?
Agreed.
If the deal was made illegally, why to get him to come to and stay with the Clippers in the first place, correct?
Yeah, you're not trading away. Yeah, I got to figure out if I understand this right. You're not trading away the potential punishments with Kawhi.
I didn't think so.
Because you are the organization that circumvented the cap and put together the side deal and Uncle Dennis and all of it. The Raptors couldn't be foolish enough or naive enough, though, to think that, like, if something happens to Kawhi, yeah, he's their player now. Like, it could be a year suspension.
Here's for the New York Post account. The Raptors wrote that the league office informed them that because of the ongoing investigation involving the Clippers, they would assume the risk of any potential outcome affecting Leonard. That sounds like if he's suspended.
Yes, but that should be common knowledge.
As a result, yeah, but Toronto is saying it will now wait until the investigation is complete before moving forward. The Raptors remain eager to bring Kawhi back to Toronto and look forward to a swift resolution for our players, our organization, and our fans, which in effect leaves Leonard in limbo and the trade in limbo, because it almost sounds like the Clippers are saying, well, we didn't know that.
Right.
And wouldn't that be implied through the whole thing? If you're going to take a player under investigation, unless they assumed Kawhi's not going to get punished, maybe they'll take away some money from him. That's not our problem. It's the Clippers. they're going to get punished. So it's an interesting story. I don't know if there's any precedent for it.
No, I don't think there is.
Of. So we'll because he's already been there. The press conference. He's moved back to Toronto. Everybody loves him. Everybody's excited. There's people out there who think Toronto is now the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, or at least one of the top 2 or 3. So we'll see where this goes from here. KOC. Now, where was Dan Patrick? Was on location somewhere.
He's at that Pro-Am tournament, Lake Tahoe.
Okay,
that Steph
that's
Curry
what it is.
wins.
Okay.
Marty Fish always wins.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And beautiful backdrop.
It's nice.
He's doing a show from there. And he had our guy, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, on. And I think what we're going to hear is a decent amount of a back and forth.
About 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, that ends up going kind of in a very funny direction after, as you'll find out if you've missed it, KOC gets called on his word salad, and as usual, doesn't seem particularly delighted that he is being mocked by not by Dan Patrick so much as the Danettes as well. So, or one of the Danettes. Paulie. Yeah, let's listen.
Help me understand an open competition at quarterback, like it's open between J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray.
I'm not really familiar with a closed competition. So, I've heard that, everyone's like fascinated with that aspect of it. Here's what I would say, 2 players and really, the goal going into this offseason was, to elevate the quarterback position, because when we have a certain standard of play that we feel like we have multiple guys in that room that are capable of achieving that standard, the Minnesota Vikings win football games. And so the best way to achieve that is having a daily attempt to have guys push each other, and not just always need the outside noise, or not always need what the narratives may be. Let's roll the ball out there, and let's try to help the Minnesota Vikings get better. Kyler has come in and done a great job. JJ, I think, has benefited from it. He had a really good spring. Carson Wentz is this veteran quarterback in the room that, as a guy who's played 7 or 8 quarterbacks in 4 years, the 2 years we had our starter play the whole season, we won 13 and 14 games. So we want to try to get back to the standard of having the quarterback position be a driving force behind us winning by doing their job, by hopefully activating the great players they get to play with. We got a great defense. Brian Flores has done an unbelievable job. If we can limit giving the football away and generate some explosives and get a run game going, which is, although no one's really talking about that has been a major emphasis of this offseason, both from a coaching staff standpoint and a player development and offensive development standpoint. I'm excited about where we're at, but we won't really know until we, go start calcifying, forging our team together, that we're going to compete in the NFC North. It's a very, very competitive division.
Paul, how many coaching cliches did we get?
Dan, we got 6 cliches in 2 minutes. So
let's run this.
Excuse me, Coach. Run out the balls for practice is a cliche.
Yeah, well, it's a better way to say we're going to start practice in 3 weeks.
We're going to take it one practice at a time. You didn't say that.
Well, we're not going to take it one practice.
You have to, I think.
We actually go 3 and then an off day, and then we go 3. I mean, sports science, they have your cliches lapped at this point.
See, I think this is how you answer. You can ask me the question about the quarterbacking situation in Minnesota. Go ahead.
Would you make a comment if I asked you about an open competition?
Yeah.
Dan, why don't you take me through how you have an open competition, and what are your thoughts on it currently in Minnesota?
Well, you know what? I think every day, every job, everything you do is an open competition. Why am I limiting that to my quarterback room? I'm not going to close it. They're going out there. They're competitors. Go out there and win the job. I'm not handing you the job. JJ didn't live up to expectations yet. Maybe he can learn from Kyler. Kyler, I think, is going to have an incredible year inside on that turf, in that division, me coaching him up. And I think we're going to dominate the North. We're going to win it, and I think we're going to be a Super Bowl favorite. Brian's done a great job with the defense, and I want to kick the Lions' ass, the Packers' ass, and the Bears' ass. Right. Who's with me? Let's go.
Man, Dan Campbell's going to have fun with you here. No, but it's a great answer. But I think up until the point where you kind of hit the gas there about 70% through there. But what you said is very similar to what I said.
I like the pickup. I like that you got Kyler Murray.
We want the guys to push to find exactly what they can become as players, and it's okay to be uncomfortable doing that sometimes.
Yes,
with as talented as these guys are, and they are, we are in a world where you find out very quickly that you have to be a grown up in the National Football League, because that's what every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever it is about, and we know that. We know what we signed up for. These players know that. I think they've handled it well, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. And we have a good plan in place to try to make sure we allow this thing to get to a place where we feel good about it, but also prepare the guy that's going to be our starter for the regular season.
Yeah, I think Kyler will do a good job as your starter.
It's classic. It's classic.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Well, I like how they have the cojones to know that he's not walking off the set in Lake Tahoe. He might walk off the perch if we did a cliche counter.
True. That's true.
He's not doing it on Dan Patrick.
No, but he
squirmed a little bit.
He doesn't like it.
No, he doesn't.
He still doesn't like it. It couldn't be clearer that he's uncomfortable with all of it. And I mean, the last part of his answer, I thought late in the interview was good, which is, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. That's got to be his theme, and he's got something going there. And that speaks to, okay, even if this is a weird situation, that it's not settled yet, although I expect it might get settled earlier in training camp than we think, that you almost, I don't want to say you revel in it as a coach, because it's not anything worth reveling in, probably, because it's uncomfortable, but you don't run from it, and you don't apologize for it, and you even try to inject a little humor in it. But that's just not his strength. It's just never been, his strength at all. Do you think? I mean, here's what's funny. Do you know when, really, to me, the only time that KOC has been incredibly natural and riveting on TV? It's in the quarters of preseason games, right, where he gets mic'd up.
He's so good
by the Fan Radio Network,
yeah,
Vikings Entertainment Network, whatever we call it, and he's basically forecasting plays, explaining why a play didn't work, explaining, and he seems loose. He seems perfectly secure with saying, "Well, we didn't do this. We got to do this in that play." That's the only time I've heard him and go, "Man."
Well, you know why?
That's pretty good.
Well, my theory would be that's his comfort zone. That's where he's born to be. Everything down there makes sense to him.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
We're in his world there.
Correct.
On the Dan Patrick set or the perch or press conference, whatever it is, he's in somebody else's world, which is why it's cool that he lets us into that, because it's the best part of preseason. It's my favorite part of preseason is when he goes through all of that. It's amazing access. It's amazing.
Well, it was fun to listen to. I'm glad I did, because was that earlier today?
That was today, and if people missed the conversation, they can hear it tonight about 7:20, we believe,
nice. Okay.
when the Dan Patrick Show is replayed right here on The Fan.
Still 0-0, France, Morocco, about 52 minutes in.
You're listening to Barreiro on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center. This report...
I'm about to fall into the trap yet again. About 2 or 3 times a week, I'll get either an email or a text or a tweet from someone who claims to have rediscovered a relic of our former lives. Example, 651 guy, just found baked ruffles, Dan. Check the booth at KFAN email. West St. Paul Target. And what always happens is it's baked ruffles flavored with like sour cream and something else, so those exist. I'm looking for the throwback, original flavored baked Ruffles. No added flavor, no taco flavor, no spicy hot flavor, no onion flavor, just those. And I'm just telling you, those don't exist. They don't.
So
I
does
wish
it get your hopes up every time?
Every time I go, maybe some, but no, it's like, I've been through this too many times before.
This is like your LeBron James Shams bomb. You're waiting.
I wonder if the rumors are that LeBron may be losing himself in the eyes of Berenger, and who's the other big man who apparently has been dominating for the Wolves? Let me see if I can. I can't pronounce.
Is it Rocco?
No. Well, he's playing.
He's playing?
But it's not Rocco. It's Zion. Is it pronounced Poulin? Pullin?
I don't know how it's pronounced.
He's apparently been unstoppable in our first Summer League game as a combo platter with Berenger. In fact, there was an inbound play where Poulin threw the ball in for an alley-oop directly to Berenger, who brought it down with a great deal of zest and fury. But may I add what we have to add every year, this time of year? It's the Summer League. We've been through this how many times before? 5, 10?
Yearly. How long
20?
has Summer League been going?
However long it's been going. It's very true. This is from Living the Dream guy in Blaine. That was the single most cringe, uncomfortable, awkward interview I've ever heard from a Minnesota coach. And I loved every second of it. I think KOC needs to be called out for his milquetoast answers. Good for Dan Patrick and his crew to call him out and make the obvious obvious. I'd like to think that that the light bulb will go off in his head. It's like France just went up 1-0 near the 60-minute mark of the game. Is it Mbappe? I saw him celebrating, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know if I can't see from this angle who. Oh, nice. Very nice. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is Mbappe.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at him curve that shot.
Yeah, he bent it in there. Oh, my
God, he bent it in beautifully there. That was well done. So France finally breaks the tie, the 0-0 tie with Morocco, and is up 1-0. That's the first quarterfinal game of the World Cup knockout round. Somebody else is saying West St. Paul also has the plain ones. Well, then they've got to be like 20 years old, and they're going to be too stale because they're not still making them.
Would you try it, though? You'd have to give it a shot, right, just in case?
I would try it.
Trying to think. I just drove through.
I'm not going to go to West St. Paul.
I know. I just drove through it on the way home from Wisconsin. I wish I would have known this. We would have stopped for you.
Yeah.
We would have stopped for you on Sunday.
Can we get Kevin Love back in the building? It's been suggested. We don't have any money left.
And he's not the answer.
No, at this point, he's not.
Johnny and I talked about that on Monday.
You just recognize the name.
Yes,
we all want it. And it's nice.
Yeah, we love K-Love.
We're way past that point. I wonder if this is a burner account for Diana Taurasi. Can Caitlin Clark win a championship at any level before the DOJ has to get involved? She didn't win in high school, didn't in college, and her team did better in the playoffs when she was a coward and decided to sit out in the playoffs.
Wow.
My God, man.
Jeez.
But there's no enmity towards Caitlin Clark.
No.
It's just all above board.
And I'm sorry.
How do you send that with a straight face?
The back-to-back Final Fours and national championship games for Iowa, I think.
She didn't win at all.
Yeah.
That's undeniable.
But she changed the program forever.
Whew. Man, that's that in an odd sort of way kind of makes the point for us. That level of vitriol and enmity, man, that says something else is at work in your brain. I have my theories. We've talked about them sometimes before, but I don't know if it would necessarily apply in this particular case. One other text to try to get to here before we prepare for the inbox.
Berenger is just cooking.
Is he cooking still?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Are you sure Tom Pohlad isn't just a Kiss fan and he's extremely bothered by what Kessler said yesterday? I'll bring you up to speed.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
I tweeted out, and it was innocent at the start, kind of. I follow a bunch of those music X handles, and one of them was, most overrated band of all time. Well, anytime I'm going to be offered that opportunity, I'm going to say Grateful Dead. I've been doing that for years, and so I did. Well, Hell Hath No Fury, like Grateful Dead fans.
Like
I got pummeled from people all over the country.
Yeah.
Just kind of lost their minds. I tried to get Kessler in on it. He's afraid, so he instead ripped Kiss. And then he pretended to really not rip them because he doesn't like the blowback that he's getting.
Right.
He doesn't mind political blowback, but he hates music blowback.
Interesting.
So he got that. So that's Izzy's calling back to what Kessler said regarding Kiss. And then there was another development today. It'll come to me in a minute related to the Grateful Dead controversy. But yeah, it was classic Kessie where he's in it, and then I didn't really say that.
Right.
Somebody calls him on it, and then he backs off because he's worried about his Q score. When you're in TV, that's what you always worry about.
And he's not even in TV anymore.
That's the thing.
That's what's weird.
It's very, very
I don't
strange.
know why he's obsessed with his image. He doesn't need to be.
Dr. Dan's inbox right around the corner.
Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barreiro.
Today, do we still need some reinforcements? Should I ask one last time, or are we in pretty good shape?
I'd say both. We're in decent to good shape, and I always love the ones we get on the fly as we go. JG at KFAN.com. So I'd say a little bit of both.
France is remembering who France is supposed to be. They're now up 2-0, 70 minutes into the first World Cup quarter-final game. France 2, Morocco 0. So that's keeping to form. They finally figured it out. I didn't see who scored the second goal. Mbappe did have the first, and they look like they are now pretty much in control. All right, let's get it started.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Every Thursday, usually right around 4:30, JG at KFAN.com. Sponsorship available. I love this one because this is a callback that goes 2, 3, 4 months in the past. Follow-up. Dear Dr. Dan, how do you like us now? Hello and greetings from my Spartan and not all that cushy office at T Field. As you may recall, my brother Joe emailed you and Guardsy back in spring training to tell you about all the exciting prospects and free agent signings we were bringing to Fort Myers with the belief that they would blossom into a very competitive team. And look, lo and behold, the mighty Twins just took 2 or 3 from the Guardians after taking 2 or 3 from the Yankees. And yes, the Minnesota Twins are actually leading the American League in runs scored. I'm sure you'll agree that our current lineup is a veritable powerhouse that could easily rival the Bomba Squad, and obviously deserves to be mentioned with the all-time greats like Murderers Row, the Bronx Bombers, the Bash Brothers, and the Big Red Machine. So, some of our soon-to-be Hall of Fame-worthy sluggers include switch-hitting slugger Jay Bell, catcher V. Caratini, virtually unknown prospect Kyler Fedko, trustworthy utility man R. Kreidler, somewhat reliable T. Gray, and surprising rookie A. Roden, who just won the game last night in walk-off fashion. And you'll notice I didn't even mention once B. Buxton, who, as you know, was just voted an all-star starter. But I digress. Again. I know the ticket buying public can't wait to see what we do in the second half of the season, especially when we do almost nothing at the trade deadline. Hear me now, believe me later. Go Twins. Sincerely, T. Polad. P.S. Did I mention we have the 3rd pick in the upcoming MLB draft? And that Arch Manning is number 1 on our board and expected to be available when we are on the clock.
Here's the delicious part about the Twins' reemergence here. First off, I still don't know that we can totally trust it because they've had several stretches, right, where they've played well, gone into a tank, played well, gone into the tank. Maybe it'll be more permanent this time. But what Dr. Dan does like about it is setting up for the test, right? Another test, as if we haven't had enough already and the team hasn't already failed those tests in the past. And that is, If your whole bit is, watch us, we're going to be better than you think, and they kind of answer to that, then you're left with, I think, at that point, very little choice but to make a decision. And one way is to, all right, we are going to add something substantial, or we're going to talk ourselves out of it like we always do because, well, what are we really giving up and how much money is it going to cost? So whether they intended it to go this way or not, whether the Twins themselves, the players, have exceeded the expectations of ownership or not, the players have put, by their relatively good play, have put ownership on the clock yet again. So we're back to another litmus test. Dr. Dan's not holding his breath, but he'll be watching closely because what this little bump does is force the team to make good this time on what it has made good on so few times before. And I am as fascinated as anybody to see where that goes, aren't you? That's what I love about this situation.
It is true. You're in the mix.
If they were buried, it wouldn't matter and no one would have to worry. They wouldn't have to worry about another test. In fact, the ball guys would be saying, go ahead and sell off everything. Now you're in a different position. What are you going to do with it? Because the reason you only got 14,000 people in the seats last night is nobody trusts you. They may trust the baseball that's being played, but they don't trust that you're going to try to do anything with it and build on it and give it the best chance maybe to surprise the baseball experts. That's the clock that your ownership is on. T. Polat is on once again.
It's time for Dr. Dan's
Another owner letter.
Inbox.
The owners have time, yeah.
Interesting.
Lottie D-Bots. We're going to hear that, by the way, in about 20 minutes. This Summer League time. Dear Dr. Dan, whoa. Are you telling me that all we had to do was trade away Jay Smith to avoid losing $1 million first-round draft picks and miles of shame from the community? Sounds way more effective than trying to woo the commissioner with my wife's delicious lasagna. Holy ravioli, who knew? G. Taylor.
How is G. Taylor doing? Do we know?
I haven't seen him at any Lynx games, have we? He usually would sit in those four.
That's very true. Who did we trade away? I didn't even hear what you said.
Well, Jay Smith is who we should have traded away. We cheated for.
Oh,
and I think this is about the Kay Leonard situation. That if you trade him, you avoid penalties, is what the Clippers are trying to do.
Yeah, well, it is interesting how much emotional baggage exists in this town because as soon as we laid out the Kay Leonard story, I had about 6 or 7 people text us the Jay Smith precedent, saying, well, that's the precedent. Why didn't we figure it out? As I recall it, the difference is that in the Jay Smith situation, hadn't we just signed him as a free agent? We didn't trade for him, did we?
I don't remember.
I want to say he was signed. I believe that's the difference. And obviously, he's got an existing contract. But I get your pain, and I get why you go, well, wait a minute now. And I still have a hard time believing that the Clippers can avoid punishment of any kind. On the other hand, I will say this. The fact that it's taken this long to conclude the investigation, does that mean it's possible that they can't nail the Clippers? They can't get all their ducks in a row on all of these what look like juicy accusations?
Right.
And it was the Pablo Torre podcast, right? That seemed to have him nailed or the Clippers nailed?
Yes.
Is it possible the league investigation has been unable to nail him the same way? Because this has gone on forever, has it not?
It feels like it. It was about the start of the season, I feel like, when all of this dropped.
Yes, correct.
If I remember the timeline correctly. That would be...
Where is Jay Smith these days? Do we know? Is he in basketball?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably, if he is, he's in Vegas right now where the Summer League is going. That would be pretty fitting, though, that we would get caught.
Yes.
Obviously. And this, which appears, I know Mark Cuban didn't believe that anything happened, that he didn't think
that's true.
Ballmer was that dumb.
Yeah.
But, man, there's a lot of smoke there. It'd be like the North Carolina academic cheating scandal, where they made it to the national championship game and got nothing.
Somehow they got really harsh punishment.
It's time
We still don't know where our banner is.
Which was no punishment at all.
Inbox.
Somebody knows, and you know somebody knows. In fact, I think you know. You just don't want to say it.
I don't know.
You've been sworn to secrecy.
No.
And that's fine. I understand you're in your position where you do stuff with the U, but you know.
I wish I did know.
Oh.
I will say this. I think Nico wants to know, and I think Nico wants it back up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to see Nico tonight. I'll ask him about
Nico
it.
and I will be in disagreement on that.
I'll ask him about it. Dear Dr. Dan, I'm reaching out to you because while you were away, your little sidekick gave some airtime to one of my political opponents. But I have yet to hear from you guys in regards to getting some airtime of my own. Wouldn't you like to hear my thoughts on subjects like LeBron, NBA free agency, Orono versus Edina, and the World Cup? I've been at the helm of the levers of power in D.C. for 20 years, and you snubbed me for the My Pillow guy again? Do better, Guardsy. Do better, Dan. A. Klobuchar.
That's just too good. Well, we should probably do the backstory. I learned about it yesterday through Blakemore that you announced, and I assume via X and then on the air, that among your guests, I assume to talk soccer, or maybe it was to talk LeBron.
Both.
Combination of both.
Yes, both.
You decided to have Mike Trudell on, right?
From the Lakers.
Orono's own. He now does, he's a media superstar out in California, Lakers sideline reporter, and then he does some hosting too, doesn't he?
Yes,
He's got everything.
on ESPN Los Angeles.
TV, the whole bit.
College soccer player at Northwestern.
And it seemed like, I'm sure from your standpoint, you got a good vibe with him, logical to put him on. Mike Trudell. And somehow, we've got enough chumbalones out there that thought that you were taking a political stand by putting on my pillow guy, M. Lindell, correct?
It happens every time we have Trudell on.
It's absolutely mind-boggling to me because the name isn't even close. But it shows you just how visceral the hatred is that exists between the Sharks and the Jets. And they feel like, Sharks are getting away with something again. I got to pounce on it. If I don't, no one else will. And it's very much instructive of the times in which we live, is it not?
It is. And they were serious. Like, once we brought it up, there's enough people that do it for the bit.
Yes,
which is brilliant.
Right.
Which is fun. But there was enough where they were actually mad. Yeah. Yeah, DFL Dan was gone for one day, and my true colors showed up. That was my favorite one. You know me.
That's too good.
You know me.
Yeah.
You finally left the chair open.
Dan Tifa left it open.
So I could get in there.
You could get in there.
Finally even the score a little bit.
And go Barry Goldwater on the bit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I loved it all.
Oh, that's so good.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Oh, we get letters.
Somebody else that doesn't quite get the bit. Who is Jay Smith? It's Joe Smith. No, we use first name initials on Dr. Dan's Inbox segment. We've only been doing it for 25 years, but go ahead.
Well, welcome to the new listeners.
Yeah, we love you. We love having you.
We're glad that you're here. Hope that you stay. Dear Dr. Dan, an underrated angle in the emotional departure of local folk hero N. Reed is that of my own personal misery. Lost and confused, it occurs to me there is no one better to help me with my quandary than the modern-day Mad Men, the tour de force creator of advertisements for such Minnesota essential services as power washing and orthodontia. Tell me, please, Dr. Dan, henceforth, who shall tell us that it's TSR time? This is S. Terry from a courtside seat at T Center.
Well, it's pretty simple. I really think it's pretty simple here. We know how this is going to play out. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we know how it can go a way in which, and I know this is going to be very painful for the Naz Reid fans to hear, the N. Reid fans to hear. If L. Ball is as good as he can be and figures a couple of other things out
And healthy.
and stays healthy, you're going to not be as fixated and obsessed with the fact that two words, Naz Reid is gone. It's as simple as that. I really believe that because people live in the now. Fans end up living in the now. So no matter what baggage they bring to a story or how much fear and loathing they bring to the idea that N. Reid is not around any longer, their minds can be changed in the present because they want to feel good about their basketball team. And they will feel good about their basketball team if L. Ball is able to do what they envision him capable of doing. Now, I will admit, we're a forward short. There's not any question about that. And there's some ramifications to that, as we've discussed. But that's, to me, how it all changes. It's not that difficult. Now, if he struggles or if he is not healthy, you're going to hear a lot of laments related, especially if N. Reed takes off in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's time for Dr.
Nice transition here.
Inbox.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, the national media has not been a big fan of a recent move I made in an attempt to improve the local basketball squad. Since the national media jackals don't get it, though, I thought I would turn to a local guy who understands me a little bit better. I am playing 5D chess, Dr. Dan, although I have not yet brought a championship to the state. This is not a finished product. This is fluid, and I wish the jackals would just allow me to cook a little bit. I'm a gunslinger. I'm a volume shooter. I'm a big picture guy who goes big or goes home. My resume should provide me with some equity, but I'm hearing rumblings of dissatisfaction. Let me lay it out for you. The M Timberwolves have just had their most successful 3-season span in franchise history with 2 trips to the W Conference Finals. T Center is electric, and L. James is still a viable option despite what you say. And most important, D. Russell has just been traded again, and not to us. I sure hope Minnesota fans appreciate the work I've done and continue to do, but if they don't, it might end up being a case of you don't know what you have until it's gone. Plenty of other teams would be interested in my services. Ooh. This from T. Conley.
Oh, sounds a little defensive there, doesn't it?
Little KOC right there.
I'm trying to find the direct. Have you heard about the latest D'Angelo Russell response to being traded yet
no.
again? He is, as I recall it, he's heading to Memphis this time around.
To be reunited with Ryan Saunders.
You're correct. Here is the D'Lo response via Insta to this news.
I don't know if I want this.
No matter where you send me, I'm still dangerous.
Bring gas.
How good is that? It, in one sentence, sums up everything you need to know about this guy. Because he doesn't even understand the truth of what he says. He is dangerous. That's part of the reason he keeps getting traded. He thinks it's dangerous, or he's dangerous because it's indicative of what he can still do to take over a franchise. How many times do you have to be dealt before you scratch your head and you go, maybe I got to look in the mirror a little bit. Maybe there's something I got to change to my game. If I can at this late date, I don't know. But in a sense, I'm actually glad D'Lo continues to be D'Lo. No matter where you send me, I'm still dangerous. My God. How many different teams has he been with?
Should I pull up his wiki?
Pull up his wiki. I asked this question yesterday. For a player drafted, how high was D'Lo drafted?
I think he was the second pick.
Yeah, he was top
the
3
second
or 4,
pick,
right?
Yeah.
In the history of the NBA, has a player drafted that high ever been dealt as often as D'Angelo Russell, or played for as many different teams as D'Angelo Russell now will have once he joins Memphis?
Probably not. Yeah, he was the pick right after Towns. He was the second pick of the 2015 draft. Yeah. Okay, how many teams?
I'm going to say this is his 7th.
He just left his 7th team. Memphis will be his 8th. Lakers, Nets, Warriors, Wolves, Lakers again.
Okay.
Nets again. Dallas most recently, and now Memphis. Why did I have him in Washington? Didn't he get traded to Washington at once?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't remember.
He was an all-star in 2019.
Yeah, I think that's true. Well, that was with wasn't that with Golden State?
That was with the Nets.
Oh, the Nets. Okay.
And we tried to sign him off that year. Remember, we flew a helicopter around L.A. Gerson. But the funny thing is, he's still good enough to get as Flip would say, he's good enough to get you beat. Those were Flip's words. He's a good enough player to kind of get you.
That's it. That's always
in an area.
That's the dangerous
part.
part.
He's not bad, obviously.
No, but
there's nothing like a D-Lo heater, as you know.
No.
I loved him.
But the problem is he was nowhere nearly as good as he thought he was in doing the little things consistently that were, because that's harder and more important than the heater. The heater doesn't last. And even with him, it didn't last long enough. And you got to be able to have other things you can sort of counter with when you're not on the heater that say, still a good player, does this, adds this, subtracts that from the team's weakness, whatever the case may be. So this is his 8th, you said?
Memphis will be his 8th
I should
team.
say it's not his 8th team. It's his 8th different
run
era because he's duplicated a couple. 3 times, did you say? He's been with Brooklyn twice,
the Lakers twice, and the Nets twice.
That's too good. That's too good.
He got us Mike Conley and Nah.
He did.
It's time for
How about, did you see the Drew Holiday comment to Micah?
I did see that.
Basically that if the Wolves had gotten Drew Holiday, they'd have won a couple of titles by now. Interesting.
I've always liked him.
He's a good player.
He is.
He's still a good player.
Let's do a few kind of mini walk-offs here, and I haven't even heard this whole story yet. Dear Dr. Dan, did you lose my number? If you were having flight troubles, we would have sent our plane. It's not like we haven't sent a plane for people we want to have in Minnesota. This is from Z. Wilf. Z. Wilf offering his plane for the stranded traveler.
More importantly, has Z. Wilf offered his plane to the Minnesota women's professional football team?
Oh, yeah.
That is heading, I think we're playing in the semifinals out west. Is it Utah? I know we're going out west.
That sounds right.
That's who needs I don't need the plane. They need the plane. Isn't that what Patriots guy did?
Yeah, Bob Kraft.
He
did.
Yeah. I saw Royce had a really good column on the team. I guess I had not kept track. Vikings are 0-4 in the Super Bowl. Our what are the call letters for our
Vixen?
women's? The Vixen, that team, 0-4 in the championship game.
Have they scored in the first half?
That was my question.
God, we're sad.
It's sad, isn't it? It's unbelievable. But yeah, so we're a combined professional football 0-8 now. As we're channeling the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe there's no way out of the box.
The stories the stadium could tell.
That's for sure.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
By the way, there is some bitterness on my scolding that one texter. See if I can get to it before you do your walk-offs. This cursor is getting tougher and tougher to get to the right place. Come on, you guys. It's not welcome new listeners. It's welcome to N listener. N listener.
Good point.
He's right.
Good point. Dear Dr. Dan, apparently you've never had an important meeting you had to get to. Oh, I forgot. You're not a doctor or an owner. You're a shock jock. It's from Jay Polad.
Oh, that's too good. Keep him coming.
Dear Dr. Dan, you can kiss the O'Connell used car sales sponsorship goodbye. I thought we'd have a long relationship together. I thought I handled the D. Patrick show just fine. Bring your own water to T-Camp this fall. That's from K. O'Connell.
I'll be lucky to get tap water this year. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Might be swill.
I wonder if they'll even let me know where like the regular water is.
Yeah, that might be true.
Sometimes I get caught up in the wash.
Yeah, that's true. You do. You definitely do.
Which is fine. It's part of the job. I think that's it for the walk-offs. Oh, let's do this one real quick. Dear Dr. Dan, it's pretty tough to beat these LA Knights in Hollywood Hills. I know the weather up there in Minnesota is less than ideal, but I've seen enough R. Palinka fashion to know you can also look good wearing a jacket. I know I do. It sounds like the entire basketball community is aroused with the idea of royalty heading your way by the time the S-Fair rolls around. The fans are expecting a king, Dr. Dan. But do you think they would be okay with a lower-ranking noble returning to Minnesota? This from L. Kilby, Lord Kilby, C. Kilborn.
I got a good email from him about, I think they're in post-production now, the new movie.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Because Variety's writing stories about it.
Yeah, it's big. It's coming for sure.
And he directed it?
Yes.
I thought he was just behind it. I didn't know he was directing
I thought he starred in it, too, didn't he?
Probably.
Yeah, whatever. We'll find out soon enough. There is one way where I think we can get L. James to come, by the way.
Really?
We move all of our home games to a Sunbelt city. I think Danny might consider it. Yeah, or Tolosa. Maybe Tolosa's the time to go. Yeah, I don't know. As long as it's here, it ain't going to happen. Sorry.
You think it's just the weather?
I think it's just he's not, for what's supposed to be his final year, again, no offense to us, he doesn't want his final year to be based in Minnesota. He just doesn't.
I think next year's going to be his final year.
Well, that's an interesting
not
question.
This year, next year, because next year will be 25.
Well, that might change things, because then you say, okay, I'll do a year in Minnesota, and then I'll return to the Sun Belt after that, someplace else.
Go win a title with Ant and LaMelo and Bronny.
And then leave town like Jay Morris did. Win a title and go someplace else.
Which, would anybody care?
Not at that point. Everybody would be more than delighted.
Top 5 coming up. We will hear from C. Finch at Timberwolves Summer League.
Oh, nice.
But, of course, we will also reprise the infamous D. Con C. Weber interview.
Oh,
because
yeah. It's that time.
It's that time of year. It's the middle of July. We have to do. I think they're sitting in the same spot, Finch and Con.
Really?
The camera angle looks exactly the same. The content,
a little different. Thankfully
for us now, a little bit different.
Will we hear from C. Reeve, who made some history finally last night?
That's going to be part of it as well.
Outstanding. That's coming up.
You're listening to Barreiro on the Fan.
From the one.